If Excel sort is grayed out, or your list sorts into a weird order, it's usually not a bug. It's Excel protecting you from a structure problem in the sheet. The good news is you can fix it fast once you know what to check. In this walkthrough, you'll get a simple mental checklist that covers the most common causes. We'll start with why the sort button becomes unavailable. Then we'll fix the classic wrong order issues, like numbers stored as text and hidden spaces. After that, we'll handle trickier cases, merged cells, partial ranges, and mixed data types. You'll also learn when to use sort versus filter and how tables change sorting behavior. By the end, you'll be able to sort reliably without breaking your data. And you'll know how to spot the warning signs before you click sort. Next step. First, let's separate two problems that feel the same. Problem 1 is, sort is disabled or grayed out, so you can't even start. Problem 2 is, sort runs, but the result is wrong, like 1, 10, 2, or dates that jump around. The fix depends on which category you're in. A grayed out sort is usually about the worksheet state, protection, or selection rules. A wrong order sort is usually about data types, hidden characters, or inconsistent formatting. So before changing anything, ask one question. Can you click sort? Yes or no? If the answer is no, focus on sheet-level blockers like protection, merge cells, or being inside a pivot table. If the answer is yes, but results look wrong, focus on cleaning and converting the column you're sorting by. This one distinction saves a lot of time and prevents random trial and error. Next step. Let's tackle the grayed out sort first. The most common reason is that you're in a context where Excel won't allow a normal range sort. For example, if your active cell is inside a pivot table, Excel expects you to sort through pivot table tools, not the regular sort button. Another common blocker is worksheet protection. Sorting can be restricted, even if you can still select cells. Shared workbooks and some co-authoring scenarios can also limit certain actions depending on settings. And sometimes the issue is simpler. You're in cell edit mode, so Excel temporarily disables commands. Press Enter or Escape to exit editing. Finally, if your selection includes merged cells, Excel often disables sort because it can't move rows cleanly. The key is to identify which mode you're in, then use the correct tool or remove the blocker. Next step. Now focus on selection, because Excel sorts what you tell it to sort, not what you meant. If you select only one column in the middle of a dataset, Excel may warn you, or it may sort just that column and misalign your rows. The safest habit is to select a single cell inside the dataset, not the whole column and not a random block. Then Excel can detect the current region and include adjacent columns. If your data has a completely blank row or blank column inside it, Excel may treat the list as separate blocks, which makes sorting unpredictable. In that case, remove the blank line or convert the range into an Excel table so the boundaries are explicit. Also watch for header detection. If your header row isn't clearly a header, Excel might sort it into the data. You can manually set My Data Has Headers in the Sort dialog to control that. Next step. Merged cells deserve their own fix because they're a top reason sort is blocked. Excel can't reliably move merged ranges when rows shift, so it prevents sorting to avoid corrupting the layout. The clean fix is to unmerge the cells in the area you want to sort. If you used merged cells to center a title across columns, replace that with center across selection formatting instead. It looks similar, but doesn't break sorting. If you merge cells within the data itself, consider redesigning. Put repeated labels in each row, or use a separate header section above the dataset. Another workaround is to copy the data to a clean sheet, remove merges, sort, then paste values back. That said, the best long-term approach is no merge cells inside a sortable list. It keeps your data stable and makes filters, tables, and pivots work better too. Next step. If sort runs but the order is wrong, the number one culprit is numbers stored as text. Excel then sorts alphabetically, so 100 comes before 2. A quick clue is alignment. Text often aligns left by default. Numbers align right. The formatting can hide this. The reliable fix is to convert the column to real numbers. You can use Convert to Number if Excel shows the warning icon. Or use text to columns with no actual splitting. Just finish the wizard to force conversion. Another solid method is multiplying by 1 using paste special, which converts numeric-looking text to numbers. After conversion, sort again and the order should become logical. The important part is consistency. If half the column is numeric and half is text, Excel will still produce confusing results. Next step. Dates and times have a similar problem but with extra traps. Excel dates are serial numbers under the hood. If your dates are stored as text, sorting will be alphabetical, not chronological. That's how you get April before February, or 2024-12-01 mixed with 12/1/2024 in odd ways. The fix is again conversion, but you must match the date format to the actual text pattern. Text to columns is great here because you can choose the date order, like MDY or DMY during conversion. Also watch for hidden time values. Two cells can display the same date, but one might contain a time like 12:00 p.m., which affects sorting. If you need date-only sorting, you can remove times by using int on the date serial, then paste values. Once dates are truly dates, Excel sorts them correctly. Next step. Another sneaky reason for wrong order is hidden characters, especially leading or trailing spaces. Two names can look identical, but one has an extra space at the end, so it sorts separately. The same happens with non-breaking spaces copied from websites, and with line breaks from imported data. The fix is cleaning. Trim removes extra spaces, but it doesn't remove every special space character. Clean helps remove non-printing characters, but not all of them either. A practical approach is to create a helper column that uses trim and clean together, then copy and paste values back over the original. If you suspect non-breaking spaces, you can replace char 160 with a normal space, then trim. After cleaning, sort again, and the order usually snaps into place. This is especially important for IDs, product codes, and customer names. Next step. Let's talk about blanks and mixed values, because Excel has rules that can surprise you. In ascending sorts, blanks often end up at the bottom, but behavior can vary depending on sort options and whether you're sorting values or cell color. Mixed content, like numbers and text in the same column, creates a split sort, where Excel groups types, then sorts within each group. That can look wrong, even though Excel is being consistent. The fix is to standardize the column. If it's meant to be numeric, make everything numeric and move non-numeric entries to a separate column. If blanks are meaningful, replace them with a placeholder like 0, NA, or a specific date, depending on your logic. Also check for error values like hash numbers or hash value. Errors typically group together and can dominate the top or bottom of the sort. Decide whether to fix the errors or filter them out before sorting. Next step. Sometimes sorting fails because your data isn't a clean rectangle. Excel expects each row to represent one record. If you have subtotal rows, section headers, or multiple tables stacked in one sheet, a normal sort can scramble the structure. The solution is to separate concerns. Keep raw data in one consistent table and keep summaries somewhere else. If you must keep section headers, use an extra column like group or category and fill it down for every row. Then you can sort by group first and by your second key next. Also be careful with merged header bands and multi-row headers. Excel can handle multi-level headers in some contexts, but a basic range sort wants a single header row. If needed, create a helper header row just for sorting, or convert the range to a table and use structured headers. Clean structure equals predictable sorting. Next step. Excel tables change the game, in a good way. When you convert a range to a table, Excel locks in the boundaries, keeps rows together, and makes sorting and filtering more reliable. It also auto-expands when you add new rows, which prevents the classic problem where new data sits outside the sorted range. But tables also introduce a few gotchas. If you have totals rows, they stay at the bottom and don't sort with the data. If you have calculated columns, sorting is fine, but you need to be careful about sorting by cell color or icon rules that come from conditional formatting. Another detail is that tables use header dropdowns for sorting, which can feel different from the sort dialog. If your sort button is grayed out because you're in a special object, converting to a table won't fix that. But for everyday lists, tables are one of the best long-term fixes for sorting problems. Next step. If you're working with filtered data, sorting can feel inconsistent unless you understand a rule. Excel sorts the visible rows within the filtered subset. That's usually what you want, but it can surprise you if you expected the entire dataset to reorder. Also, if you have multiple filters across columns, you might think sorting did nothing because the visible set is small. A practical habit is to clear filters before a major sort, then reapply filters after. Another tricky case is sorting a range that includes hidden rows, either from filtering or manual hiding. Excel treats filtered hidden rows differently than manually hidden rows in some workflows. If you need a clean, global sort, unhide rows and clear filters first. And if you're sorting by custom lists, like days of the week or priority labels, use the sort dialog so you can pick the custom order explicitly. Next step. Let's wrap this into a quick, reliable checklist you can run every time. Step 1. Confirm whether sort is disabled or just giving wrong results. Step 2. Click a single cell inside the dataset and make sure there are no blank rows splitting it. Step 3. Remove merged cells from the sortable area. Step 4. Verify the data type in the sort column, number, date, or text, and convert if needed. Step 5. Clean hidden characters using trim, clean, and a non-breaking space replace when data comes from the web. Step 6. Standardize mixed columns and decide how blanks and errors should be handled. Finally, consider converting the range to a table for long-term stability. If you follow that order, you'll fix most sorting issues in a few minutes, and you'll avoid the mistakes that cause misaligned rows. If you want one habit to keep, treat sorting as a data quality check. Next step. One final tip. When sorting matters, protect yourself from silent damage. Before a big sort, make a quick copy of the sheet or at least the key columns. Then use the sort dialog for multi-level sorts because it's clearer than repeated A to Z clicks. If your data has relationships, like an ID with multiple related columns, always sort the entire row set together. And after sorting, do a fast sanity check. Pick a few rows and confirm that the ID still matches the name, date, and amount. This catches the rare case where a partial selection caused misalignment. If you only remember 2 fixes, remember these: remove merged cells and convert text numbers and text dates. Those 2 solve a huge portion of real-world sort problems. If you want more Excel troubleshooting like this, subscribe once. And for a quick check-in, comment with your issue type: A, sort grayed out, or B, sort wrong order. Subscribe to keep optimizing your workflow and get back more of your time.